Welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and we're so happy to see you here today. We're working on a Pokemon. I love Pokemons. Well, Marcus loves Pokemon, so therefore I love Pokemon. So this is actually a special gift that he actually commissioned me to do for his friends that are getting married. So this is Tinkaton right here. You'll see from maybe last week that I did a video on how to actually applique like a character like this onto something like to make a pillow. So we did some piping on this pillow. Check that out. Doesn't it look amazing? So cool. And then we have some of the favorite fabric that Marcus had picked up for them. And so I have it as the base behind my characters. You can see that just because of the white fabric that I use, as well as part of the pillow back tuck. Okay, so we're gonna make the matching one. So what we have here is Bulba. Isn't he cute? So there's our fabric that we have underneath. Okay, and now what we want to do is make the piping to go around. So I have some rope from doing the rope bowls, that sort of thing. I cut an 1.5 inch strip of fabric. Hold on, sorry, I got it all mixed up here now. More than what I need to go all the way around. So what I did is to measure, I gave it like an extra inch there, over here, gave it like an extra inch there, down to here, extra inch there, you know, sort of thing, and around, and then around. And that made sure that I knew I was going to have enough to come around all with my piping. Okay, so here is my rope. I'm gonna tuck it right in there. And now what I like to do first, just to set it so it's not going to go anywhere, is just do a little base stitch right at the end here, like right close to the edge all the way down for the rope size that you need. So you may need a couple of different feet for this, depending on how big you want your piping. You may need a closer foot to get right up close to it. So I have, there's a zipper foot here that you could possibly use to get really close right up to the side of the rope, or there's you know, a little quarter foot right there too, right? So, but I want to put my first stitch right close to the edge, because if I added it anywhere in between, when I go to sew this, you might be able to see those stitches, right? As it becomes the pillow. Okay, so I just kind of want to get right close to the edge and just more do like a base stitch. So you can go like about 4 or 5, and you just want to make sure those, like the rope and the fabric is like a 1 unit. Okay, so once I get all that sorted, I'll show you how I'm going to pin it around the fabric front. Okay. That's how you can see how it's just coming together, but I'm only stitching right at the very edge, okay? We're back. We put the rope inside of our strip of fabric to make for our piping. Now I find when doing pillows, and especially with piping, you kind of want to round the corners a little bit. So I have this cute little container here. It's just enough of a round edge to slip right into where my pointed corners are, and then just come in with my pencil and then just do a little sketch to round that corner, okay, on all 4 sides. Okay. Just turn my mat around so I can see it. Okay. Oops. And this was a great way to also, you know, showcase your kids, your grandkids' artwork, is turning it into an applique. So now what I want to do is on one of the side parts here is start pinning the piping into place. So what I want to do is I want to sew on the piping first, and then I'm going to come with my other fabrics to lay on top to make the slip part for the pillow, okay? So I want to make sure that I'm not fiddling and faddling with the piping as well as the pockets for the pillow. So I just want to make sure I'm pinning in a few spots, and then we're going to round those corners, and I'll show you how the easiest way to just kind of clip and pin for those corners. Okay, so we'll just pop a pin in there and turn it towards me here at this point. Okay, so we're putting our fabric of our piping and our front fabric, because I've got 2 pieces there, because you can just see the shadow effect of the little bulbas behind here, right? Right there, you can see that. Okay, now when we get close to this edge right here, if we go like that, it looks all frumpy. So we want to kind of snip a few little bits right in here to make sure that that curve is nice and pretty as it goes around, okay? Okay, so let's just put in Let's just use our small snips here. So we know how we have a space about that big that we need to put in some snips, okay? Well, maybe not. Little ones are not going to cut it. So just a few little snips. And then you can see that really helps with the curving, giving those some relief cuts. Just curve and pin. Okay. Curve and pin. Okay, and see how pretty that looks? And we won't worry about these guys because they're not going to get in the way or anything like that. So, and we'll just work our way all the way around to get that all sorted. Okay, pins in to help support. And then once you know where you have to put some snips in, some little clips, somewhere from right about there to there. Okay, just come in with a few little, and that just helps it curve so much better. And when you do stuff like this, you want to make it as pretty as possible. So whether you're putting piping on pillows, on patio furniture, cushions, project bag. I won't set the soapy loafy off. All right, and we'll get back to you once I have this stitched down all the way, okay? But wait, I bet you were thinking to yourself, how do I make it so the two pipings are going to come together evenly? Let me show you. Once we have this one piece that we've started off with right there, you can feel that the little rope is inside. So what you want to do is want to make sure you're kind of overlapping, maybe about 2 inches, I guess, about there. It's not like rocket science or anything. Okay, clip with the excess off. You're going to pull the stitches back on this one, about 1.5 inches. Okay, clip the rope out, just like that. Now what you want to do is fold this raw edge under, just like that, and we'll just tuck it in so it sits perfectly. Okay, but we're gonna have to make sure it does that. Obviously it's overlapped a little bit too much. I need more rope out. Okay, and that's how you just line it up and sew it together. So it looks like one cohesive unit. Okay. Hold on, let's make sure we're not taking too much. We want just enough, so we need just a smidgy more. And we can chop that off a little bit more. Remember, tuck this under. Put the rope on top. Put these two right together. Tidy it up a little bit. And there you go. All pretty. Just put the little pin in. And then we're just going to stitch that down all the way around, okay, to secure that piping. All right. I did switch out to my zipper foot just so I know I was going to get a nice good coverage in stitching this one down. Okay, and we're going to start right where it has been mended together. Okay, again, we're just doing a base stitch. Okay, just tucking them, make sure they're nice and even. Okay, pull the pins out as we go. Trying to keep it as close to the edge of the fabric as possible. Be slow and steady as you come around the curves. Okay. Be patient with yourself. Lift the foot if you need to. Shift things around. Use a stylus, pencil, chopstick, skewer. Kids have to crayon. I mean, whatever works. The stretches are easy. It's the corners that you just gotta take it. Slowly roll a bit. Slowly roll on the corners, okay? pin on my shirt as it was coming around. Don't be afraid to lift your foot to get a better position. We're almost there. Just got this one last little corner here to do. And with this foot, since it's stitching right in the center, what I can do is shift the needle so it's stitching through this outside hole here when I go and put the two pieces together, or the pieces together. Okay, nice. There we go. So if we want it so it looks like the froggies on the outside and then our colorful fabrics on the inside, like is that for sort of the pocket, when we put this together, we want to make sure that this fabric is on the inside. So as you see, it doesn't reach all the way on either side, so we need to fold and put a little bit of a like a little hem right in there before we add it to the back. Okay, on both sides. Oops. I'll let my iron go. Well, it's still hot, so we need it for a moment. They're really big Pokemon fans. I did a wall hanging for them as well, with some hearts and the same fabric, kind of bordering it out on a couple of sides, so it represented both of them. Okay, let's put this right under here. We're just going to do a straight one right down at the bottom, all the way across, nice and even and pretty. And same with the green fabric. I had already had it pressed. You want to make sure you've got an overlapping of quite a bit. I've made a mistake before where the overlap was not big enough and I've got a pillow like poking out the back end of it. So I thought I had enough, but it wasn't. So I am using 14-inch pillow forms for this project, so that making sure that my square form of my fabric that I'm using for this is 16 inches by 16 inches. Okay. All right, so here is our bottom fabric. Want to make sure that's right sides together. Just going to pop it there. And the reason why I kept the edges nice and square, so it gives me a place to make sure that I am squaring up this here. Okay. Then the second piece we want down is this one right here, right on top of it. And again, we will pin this and sew all the way around. I'll catch you when that's done. Okay, we've got it all pinned all the way around, nice and secure. What we're going to do is we're going to come in with another closer stitch right next to where that piping is and stitch it all together as one unit. So I have my zipper foot on and I have shifted my needle to the farthest, so it's popping through the farthest hole over to the left-hand side. And we're just going to keep on trucking, okay? So I am hugging it. You can kind of see where the piping is, and it's just to ensure that we're not going to see any of those other stitches, okay? All right, so here we go. We're on regular stitches, not a base stitch or anything like that. We're trucking real time here. Okay. And we're just going to take her slow and steady as we come around the whole project, okay? Just hugging that piping, because it's not going to go anywhere. We know it's secure. We've already stitched it down once, and that's one of the reasons why I like to do that, instead of just kind of getting it in here, pinning. As it shifts, as you're sewing, it might shift all the way out, and you know, all of a sudden you're like, why is my piping all nice and even? So popping it around with a nice base stitch is a good choice. It's a smart move. Hope you're all having a great day so far. We've had lots of celebrations over the past few weeks of, you know, Canada Day anniversaries and 4th of July. taking my pins out as I go. All right, I'll catch you when this is all done. Okay, so all the way around now is our test of whether we did this right. So let's turn it right side out, okay? We can do this. I know we can. I'm sure it looks really cute. Just hoping. Here, let's put it on the pillow so we can really see. Okay, so you tuck it in to one side. Make sure all the little corners are where they need to go. Okay, and then you just kind of pull the bottom side down a bit. And then just tuck the other one up and around. Just like that. All right. Beautiful. Somehow we got this corner. There we go. Got something tucked up in here. Okay. How about the rounded corners? Oh my goodness, that looks so cute. It looks great. Look at all that beautiful piping all the way around. You can't see any of the other stitches. Where, oh, maybe one there, but that's okay. You just don't want to see like the whole strip going all the way around, right? Wow, cute, cute and adorable. I like it. Pop little corners in there a bit. And then we have the matching set as a wedding gift. Okay, for the bride and the groom who are Pokemon fans. There we go. And the backs are a little bit different. That's okay. Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Big hugs to you and yours, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Lots of things happening around here. You don't want to miss a thing.